Learning by doing with Praveen Kandan. This is Praveen. In this Java object oriented programming playlist, we will learn OOPS concepts step by step. This is Java OOPS programming session number 44, Hierarchical Inheritance in Java Programming. If you are confident about learning, then like the video, subscribe the channel for more update. Please click the bell icon and select all notification option. Don't choose personalized option. You may miss some session updates. Let's get started. In our previous session, we have discussed about multi-level inheritance. In this session, we'll discuss about the hierarchical inheritance. We already discussed hierarchical inheritance in session number 41. So, two child class have only one parent. So it looks like a tree structure. It is that is what we are calling it as a hierarchical inheritance. It will maintain some order. So two child class have one parent. This is about hierarchical inheritance. In our two or more classes inherits a single class, it is known as hierarchical inheritance. So we'll discuss it with the hands-on manner. So as per the pictorial representation, class A is your base class. So declare this now here. Our super class, what is that? Employee. Employee is my parent class. After that, what are the data members present here? Long employee salary equal to 15,000. Actually, as per the standards, we should not initialize like this. For a reference, I'm giving like this. Okay, you should be clear with this. For a reference, I'm giving this. In future, we'll implement all this through constructor only. That is what proper OOPS design. As a beginner, I'm just telling that it is not acceptable in industries. Okay, mark my word, this is very important. Next, permanent employee extends employee. Permanent employee extends employee. So what will happen? This will extract or inherit the features of employee. So what is that? Long employee salary. So it will come here. It's a class name, permanent employee. So this long employee salary will come here also. Next, it having some unique one. What is that? Hike equal to 0.5 percentage. Okay, this data member will be there, and then the method is void increment salary. Increment salary. After this, one more subclass is available, temporary employee, because as per the pictorial representation, class A and class B we completed. Class C is what is that? Another type of inheritance. So here what I'm giving, temporary employee subclass. But important thing, you have to note on this, there is no relationship between class B and class A, both having only one parent, class A. So here automatically this data member will come in temporary employee also. Employee data member is present in temporary employee, so automatically it will come, and then it having some unique features. What is the double hike equal to 0.35 percent? 3.5 percentage we are increasing the hike. Here you can delete this statement, so it is not required here. So permanent employee means I'm giving the hike as 0.5. Temporary employee means 0.35. This is what the data members know in temporary employee. So temporary employee and permanent employee extends employee only. Okay. Next, as usually I have the main function. So that main function I have some class name, employee management system I'm giving. It should be a public access modifier, and then class name should be the file name. Okay. So first of all, I'm creating that employee object reference variable here. Whether this employee object reference variable is now required, we'll check. I'm deleting this. Yes, you may have the question whether it is required now. I'm exiting this now. See here, it is not required. Okay, it is not required because we already extending the employee class. Am I right? So hereafter, permanent employee and temporary employee will take care about that. Okay. So as usual, I'm creating the object for permanent employee and then temporary employee. So P object reference variable is P, and then there is permanent employee reference variable is P, and temporary employee object reference variable is T. So P dot increment salary means now the method will be invoked from line number 26 to 8. So the permanent employee salary is employee salary. Already we are having the employee, what is that employee salary? What is that 15,600? So 15,600 plus 15,600 into 0.5. Okay, into 0.5, that is 50 percentage am I giving. So 600 into 0.5 means we are getting out as 23,400. 23,400. Next, another method calling T dot increment salary. T dot increment salary. Now cursor will move on from 27 to line number 16. Okay, because this the increment salary method belongs to the temporary employee. So temporary employee incremented salary is already the basic pay is initialized as 15,600. That is what available in this long employee salary 15,600, and in permanent employee also 15,600. Commonly I'm giving the basic pay. After that depends upon the employee type. I'm giving the hike now, giving the hike as 0.35. Giving the hike as 0.35. Got it? Done. So now the output is permanent employee means 23,400, temporary employee is 21,060. I hope you are clear with this example. For your understanding purpose, I am giving one more example also. What will happen if I'm using like this? So in this manner, I will explain now. This time, what I'm doing means I'm not initializing the value like this here, 15,600. I'm initializing like this. Actually, these methods are not supported as per the standards for reference sampling. If I'm doing this, what will happen? In future, definitely we'll discuss the implementation of construct area. It's the right method to initialize the data members. Okay. So how to initialize the data members, what's the proper way and all, we already discussed in this who playlist. Okay, you can refer from session number 1 to 30. So first, this time I'm creating the object referenceable for this class employee. So 15,600 is there. I'm creating the object for the permanent employee and in a temporary employee. Now I'm assigning E dot employee salary equal to P dot employee salary, E dot employee salary equal to T dot employee salary. So because if I'm not using this line, check it out first of all what is happening. I'm exiting this line once again. See here 0.0, 0.0. Reason is I'm having the proper proof here. So just try to understand first what is happening means here employee object I'm assigning here 15,600 is like a basic pay. I'm creating the objects now. Now pause here. P and T are completely different objects from E. This object reference variable is different. P and T is different. Okay, because permanent employees extends employee. You may ask, it is extending the employee. Inheritance mean does not mean that they share the same data automatically. Okay, it does not mean that share the same data only. What is happening means each object has its own copy of employee salary. Each object has its own copy of employee salary. Okay, what is the default value means when you are doing like this, internally it will assign as 0. Employee salary P also 0, T is also 0. If you don't assign, keep it in mind. If you don't assign, initially these values initialized as 0 only by default because long is default. So 0 will be there. P dot increment salary means T dot increment salary means the output will be 0, not 15,600. Am I right? 0 0.0 and 0 0.0 is yes, you are using the field like multiplying with the hike double. So that's output is 0 0.0, 0 0.0 is coming. Okay. That's why this is required because you are assigning. Okay. So at last tell you extending means what is happening if you're doing the inheritance. Okay, it is not like sharing the same data automatically. For this purpose only, after initializing like this, okay, after initializing like this, I'm assigning the value because at the time of permanent employee, temporary employee, there is no connection because we are creating the employee with the empty fields first of all. After that, you are initializing 15,600. So permanent employee, new permanent employee means this object is created as of now. Okay, this object is created as of now. So these values are not directly. That is what we are clearly mentioning. Inheritance mean does not mean that they share the same data automatically. Each object has its own copy of employee salary. Important thing. Okay, for the purpose only, we are copying the value from object E into objects P and T. Objects E and P. Now values are copied here. We are assigning from left, right to left. E dot employee salary will be assigned to P dot employee salary, E dot employee salary is to T dot employee salary. This is what happening. The key rule is very important. Interviews are academics. Inheritance shares structure and behavior, not object data. Each object has its own memory. Important point. Each object has its own instance variable. We are sharing the structure and behavior. We are just sharing this data members here. We are not sharing the data. Okay. I hope you clear this. Then you may ask, in this previous example, we have used 15,600 because we already initialized like this here itself. So it will be now common for all the classes. But here, what you're doing after creating these objects only, okay, after creating this object only, you're initializing. Now you are creating the new objects. It is not properly mapping with the other data members, okay, because you are just sharing the structure and behavior only. But here, what will happen? Bottom of the you already initialize here itself. Hereafter, it is not required to create object for employee salary because you're already extending. Already, it is in initialized version. This structure only is sharing. Okay, this structure is now long employee salary equal to 15,600. But in this example, what your structure is sharing? Long employee salary. Okay, this is the important. You are not initialized here, but here you are initializing. This is what you are clearly doing. It is sharing the structure and behavior, not object data. Okay. So clean moves way, better design. You can initialize the employee salary individually, but this is not your right method. Reference and billing. Future we will discuss with the constructor. I hope you are clear with this. This is about hierarchical inheritance. So two or more classes inherits a single class. Okay, two or more class inherits a single class. Okay, that is called as a hierarchical inheritance. If you found the session useful, then like the video, subscribe the channel for more update, and please share it with your friends. Thank you for watching.